Hi, Cheryl here, and welcome to my series on painting this little chicken. I don't know how many parts this will be, but this is part one, and I am recording and preparing these videos as the painting progresses. So right now I am working on my background, and I'm using my 50-50 mix of retarder and matte medium, and just applying paint with my paintbrush. This is a airbrush tutorial, but I also do brushwork in my airbrush work. So right now I'm just applying colors until I get the result that I want. Putting some magenta and cobalt blue in and blending it with a mop brush, a dry mop brush, and playing with the paint till I get the background that I like. You'll see I go from one color, lighten it, darken it, till I get the effect that I want. This video is fast forward. It's been fast forwarded 6 times, so this is like about 2 hours worth of work compressed down into 13 minutes. It is unedited, so you'll see the cameras focusing in and out. I'm sorry about that. Try to prevent that in the future videos. See, I go in with some magenta. I didn't really care for that. I liked the lighter background. So I go back in with more paint. So I'm going in with some white in my airbrush, and I wanted to get a little bit of white in behind the chicken so that it will stand out when I go to paint it, and get rid of some of the magenta that's left behind around the edges of the chicken's head. So I'm toning that down and putting a little white behind him or her. I don't know what it is. Toning down some of my line work too. So I have some yellow that I'm painting into the chicken's headdress. and put some first color in. It will eventually be red. I mostly work with Wicked paints. Just always, I learned with Wicked, and it's a hard paint to master when you're first starting out. But once you master it, you can paint just about anything with it. So I'm going in with some sepia, and I'm starting to work on the texture of the comb of the chicken's head and beak. These paintings take a really long time to do. And I'll be starting to work on the chicken today, part 2. You see, I am constantly moving my airbrush and doing little figure 8 patterns to get the texture in, and I will also go in with an eraser and work the area with that as well. This is all the under painting. It's a foundation of the painting. So now I'm going in with my electric eraser, and there's a lot of texture to the chicken's headdress there. And by knocking back the paint, when I go back over it, the texture will remain. In other words, if I go back over it with paint, it will always remain there lighter than the rest of it. When doing this kind of painting, you really need to take your time, slow down. So I'm throwing in some color to work with of the sepia, and I'll go back over with the eraser and work the area. Again, bringing back some of the highlighted areas. It's like carving out a sculpture. You lay some paint and carve it out. Lay some paint, carve it out. I'm going to slow it down in a couple seconds here so you can see the actual speed. In real time. Please hit the like button for me. I'd appreciate that. And subscribe if you haven't subscribed to my channel so you don't miss out on the next parts. And I'll put a link at the end of the video to part 2 of the airbrush chicken. Thanks for watching.